For thousands of years I lay dormant. Who has disturbed my...
Hey, best buddy!
Oh, it's you.
So, I'm back. Now, a few months since my finals are over, I can do this thing I've been holding off since the start of the year. Which is... holy shit, it's been 3 months already. Anyways, before we get into it, I'd just like to address the elephant in the room, which is that my Hanako and Vita Doujin reviews have been nuked off the face of the earth. And yet literal hentai is still allowed. Gee, thanks YouTube. Now, without further ado, here's the sequel to the greatest Ely Doujin before this dropped. Now, let's see if this surpasses it, shall we? Once again by Lewin Workshop, with the illustrator being XXXXL. Titled Pink no Yosei-san to Sugosu Amaku Torkeru Yoru. And using my Sugoi Nihonese knowledge, it's basically TL to a sweet and indulgent night spent with Miss Pink Elf. Speaking of Nihonese, there's literally no EN translations of it. So y'all just gotta bear with me on manually TLing this with the goofy JP knowledge I have. Just bear with me here. Now, setting the scene here, it basically features Kancho and Ely as the main proprietors, with some special guests at the end. Now, starting things off, we see Kancho, Ely, Eden, and Aponia at like a ballroom party. And Ely seems to be kinda tipsy/tired. She then talks to Eden about something and gets a room card prepared for you two. As you two walk in the room, Ely compliments how nice it is and how Eden picked the perfect room for the two of you, as well as mentioning it having alcohol. As she continues to yap, Kancho is getting more and more horny until Ely notices and teases him a bit. Now, Ely, with a wine glass on her hand, is talking about how beautiful of a night it is for lovers and how romantic it is, especially with the room, saying how perfect for confession scenes and stuff like that. With that being said, she suddenly mentions she noticed and caught Kancho in 4K gazing at Eden and Aponia's bountiful blessings in this world. Ely then says she was just teasing him before they emwak, and relays how Kancho is her favorite and noticed how his neurons were activating while staring at her back, as he would. As she says this, Kancho then grabs and fondles her tits as she keeps saying if this is enough for him. The kissing and touching before confirming that of course it ain't, and decides to continue on the bed. But Blood Kancho is impatient, so he starts removing her clothes now, and Ely comments how excited bro is, and how she just concedes and lets him have his way. Now that his schmeat is out, Ely mentions how hard it is gotten, and how big it is now. Then both then goes into a paizuri position, with Kancho commenting on how erotic Ely is. Now Ely is asking how her tits feel while giving a paizuri and all that, and Kancho about to come shortly after. Now after that debacle, Ely then notes how much he came and offered to clean it up by giving immaculate head game. Now after coming again, Kancho asks for a bit of downtime, but oh ho ho ho, Ely wants more and moves on to the main course, asking him to give it to her as she puts it in her. Now we get into plapping, with Ely saying it's good that Kancho is still able to cum and how big he is, as well as him complimenting her cooch, on feeling good and being warm. Bro then firmly grasps her tits, with Ely describing it as being a naughty way to touch. And after a bit more teasing from Ely, both cum together inside. And they came a lot. Camelot. Anyways, after the kingdom come, Ellie says that the night's still young and switches on to new drip. Okay, side tangent here, but like holy fuck, God bless XL because Ellie looks so damn good in every shot. Absolute cinema. Anyways, back to the new drip. Ellie seems to be in the bathroom right now taking lewd selfies with it while oiling up because apparently Pardo lent her some porn vids and she learned a lot from them. Kancho monologuing here about how Ellie is already erotic hell, and oiling up enhances the factor since it becomes see-through as well as the lube effect. Speaking of lube, Ellie then proceeds to press against Kancho and lube him up as well. Both bodies being oiled up now as they continue making out, and Ellie gives him a quickie while licking his nips, and comes again for like the 4th or 5th time now. Ellie is pleasantly surprised Kancho is still hard and is still able to cum, then proceeds to give once more immaculate head, making Kancho once again kingdom come. As the night goes on, both of them continue making out and fricking. And I'm talking like missionary, doggy style, even more head game, the whole ordeal. On the bed, standing, against the wall, from the screen to the ring to the pen to the king. The whole montage is super freaking steamy and wholesome at the same time, oddly enough, cause they genuinely love each other and Ellie does some cute teasing all the way through. Now as the final round draws near, Kancho pulls out his imaginary technique, Come White, and blasts together with Ellie. And even then she's not done. With another showcase of her glorious head game, she drains him even more. Now they have like a celebratory pic of them post-coitus as Ellie points out how they fuck literally all night and that she can still keep going. And with one reference of that specific Ellie tissue meme, they run it back until all is drained. Alright, so this is basically the end of the main Ellie story, but I did say earlier that they're special guests. And without further ado, let's jump right into the Eden and Aponia DLC. It starts with the both of them noticing and calling out Kancho's lecherous stare, and saying they know what both he and Ellie did, before wanting to claim the reward, per se, and having Kancho release his burning desires on them as well. Now then, immediately it cuts to him just going in Aponia raw, and Eden basically backseating for a short while, before she gets impatient and asks for her turn now. Kancho then proceeds to Honkai Star Rail both of them, as Eden comments on how Aponia is looking like Asen and Gojo right now. The threesome continues with Kancho asking for some downtime, but as per usual, both refuse and want more. Now we get to a lot of licking, and what I think is Aponia giving him a rim job, as he star rails Eden. The Eden clapping session continues as Aponia moves on to lick and tease Kancho's nips. Eventually, it leads to more kingdom come, and then both double team him like a jungler and a top laner 2v1ing during a gank, all while proclaiming how they won't stop until he's thoroughly dried. Okay, that was a lot, wasn't it? Now, time for the review section. Ahem. First off, let's start with the art, because holy shit, I know some people aren't too big of fans of this type of overly expressive style, but for me, with how consistently well done it is, and with the drawings and the shadings, not to mention the expressions, effects, and backgrounds as well, I'd give it a 5 out of 5, no question. For the story, honestly, yeah, it's a 5 out of 5. Of course it would. Like being sort of a sequel, it has setup, increases the scope and expands on it even more, all the while being as horny as possible, while being oddly wholesome as well. The natural progression with the pent-up horniness and the payoff for the non-stop segs is very good, and the characterization for them is also very solid, giving the cast relatively accurate depictions of their canon personalities, albeit with horniness on overdrive, while Ellie's non-stop teasing and thirst with segs, as well as her stamina and how she actually conveys her desires. Eden's supportive role, and her taking a bit of action once she's done with said supporting role. Then we have Aponia's more timid nature at first, and then being delegated to more kinky stuff as it progresses. It's just so peak. Overall, I'd rate it a 10 out of 10, S-Class, EX tier, all that. Nom nom nom, delicioso. With my only real complaint being that nobody bothered to fucking TL it in EN, so I have to manual it myself. Another thing to mention is that not everyone would be a fan of this type of art style, which I get, but I think most people wouldn't complain about it. So is this the new best Ellie Doujin out there? Honestly, yeah, I'd say so, considering there's honestly not that much there. The two other notable ones are less refined than this one of them being the precursor of this. And yeah, that's about it. Stay safe and max out your Ellies. Bye.